Hey guys, this is I believe day 4 of the self-transformation challenge, 30 days. So today wasn't too bad. So I woke up this morning and I started off with a cold shower, and I actually am getting used to cold showers. But I will still say that there's still that hesitancy to go in. But overall, like right when I get out, I feel that sense of energy, and I'm ready to start my day off. So, I got things kind of prepared, and I did have my smoothie, or what I think it's probably a shake, to be honest, how thick it is. Um, so what I did this time, what I didn't do the last time was I put in these oatmeal muffins, and they were very thick. So after I ate that, I was very full, because these muffins have eggs, margarine. They're very dense, and so you could have two of them and you'd be fine. So I ate those, or I had that shake, and it was very filling, very good, but very sweet. And so I noticed that kind of sugar rush coming in, but very uh, felt like raw energy, to be honest. So I had that, and I did have my supplements, the fish oil and the multivitamin supplements, and trying to swallow those down too is a little bit tricky. Fish oil is good. I think it's just the capsule, because I decided not to swallow the capsule whole and just chew, or like break it down, get the oil out, and then kind of make that capsule as small as I can, as small as I could, and then swallow it. And then the multivitamin, I break it in half and then chew it down, because I don't know, in the back of my head, I'm just kind of concerned that it's gonna get stuck in my throat because of how big it is. So I went on a walk again, and I went the same way, but I went a little bit farther because I woke up a bit later than usual. And I went down this street. It's a very rural part of the Vista where I live. There's people with pretty big properties, that have, garden, not just gardens, but like they're growing fruits and vegetables, fruit trees out here. Um, and so I ended up, when I walked back, I did notice other people doing a morning walk, and I was watching some content on YouTube about social media and how you have to be careful with the images you see on there and who you interact with. And so I've been doing research on that because I'm trying to clean up my stuff. Even after I did that initial nofap streak, there were some things that I didn't address, that I didn't see as a problem then, but now I realize just how powerful of an effect they've had. So I ended up, I came home and I did some Tai Chi with my grandmother, and I did a meditation, the same one I've been doing for the last couple of days. It's very, I like how precise it is. Um, it's consistent. It's just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and there's no breaks. You just have to keep going, and it makes you build up your focus muscle. And that's for 18 minutes. I've worked from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I haven't gotten to that 20-minute point yet, with this morning meditation. But just trying to work my way up. And then I was able to start my day off, and today I wanted to get those supplements, and so I was able to. In the morning, I was cleaning up my Amazon wish list that I've had for years, even before the NoFap journey. And I realized that a lot of the stuff that I had on there, the manga books and the Nintendo DS games, some of them were kind of violent games, fighting and kind of aggressive games, which I don't really want to play those games anymore. That I grew up playing, the shooting games. I mean, heck, I remember going to the mall, and I'd play like Time Crisis. I'd play, zombie games, and they're very gruesome, and I don't want that kind of negativity and violence in my brain anymore. So I decided to get rid of those off my wish list. I got rid of a couple of manga because I know when you see the the characters, you kind of know where the story's going to go. So if there's a female character in manga, usually it's going to be you know where it's going, right? You know what the author is going to do with the female characters. You know, it's going to show she's going to show off the character in a mature way, right? You know, mature but more of an adult way. So I decided to get rid of those manga books, and I what else was I working on? Let's see. Yeah, I went over to Rite Aid to get some vitamins, and I believe I got calcium, magnesium, and I got some sunscreen. Calcium, magnesium, because the daily vitamin doesn't have the 100% recommended amount. I was looking into biotin, which I never really heard of. Um, and just trying to make sure the dosage. I don't want to take too much of these vitamins, and take too much of a dosing because I don't want to overdose on vitamins. That's kind of a concern for me. But yeah, vitamin K I was also checking out, but the price for vitamin K is a little bit pricier. It's a little bit more expensive, than your generic brand. But yeah, I looked at vitamin K. I looked up zinc, which I don't want to overdose on that. So I'll do more research before I buy vitamin, which has they're crazy amounts on the vitamins. The amount of the dosing they put in there. So I want to make sure I don't take too much. And then I caught the bus back, and I had that second serving of a smoothie, and I was actually still full from the morning, which is a good sign. I felt like I had a good amount of energy today. I think that the shakes are doing a wonderful job of keeping me satiated, especially when I add stuff to it, like the heavy muffins and whatnot. It really works. And I haven't noticed any hunger pangs even right now. Like yesterday, I felt hungry, but today I don't feel hungry at this moment, and I haven't eaten any dinner yet. I'm doing the intermittent fasting, so I've kind of skipped. I've skipped, the dinner, um, and I still feel satiated, and I have the energy, and I do notice myself, like I've been out and about, and I notice, like the deli. I notice the pizza place, the smells, and I'm like, man, I want to eat some. I mean, I'm eating real food right now, but I wouldn't mind, having like savory food because I've been eating a lot of kind of sweeter, fruits and whatnot. And I've noticed, that kind of draw towards like, oh man, sweet. I need something other than sweets. But I feel pretty good, like very stable. Like I don't feel like my thoughts are running all over the place. I feel very stable. I feel very calm and centered. And I think today was great because I kind of had, I wouldn't say revelation, but I would say that kind of stability in thinking and awareness, because for a while I was just kind of thinking of all sorts of things around me in my environment. I was letting my external reality kind of affect my internal being, and I wasn't necessarily focused on my internal mechanics, like my thinking and my emotions, and so I was kind of letting everything else run me, and I was focused on the external world so much, like changing this and that, and I wasn't really focused on how I was feeling on the inside, and so my thoughts were starting to take control, and my emotions were, rather than the other way around, because we create our own reality every single day with our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors, our beliefs, and we have to make a choice about what we want to create in our own reality. We have to have that vision of who we want to be in order to kind of move forward. Because I've had those experiences, I know where I want to go. Therefore, I know which thoughts and which emotions align with the reality that I want to create. So I want to create a reality of success, of helping other people out, of being emotionally stable, and these have been things that I've been trying to cultivate for the last couple of years. And I've been trying to do that through external means, like finding a job, building my skill set. So all the things kind of on the outside, but I've kind of gone away from the internal mechanics. And that's why I've been feeling these kind of waves of emotions because of because of me not cultivating my meditation practice or other self care routines. And so, what I realize is that you can control your thoughts. That is possible because you are in control of your reality. And so, your thoughts don't necessarily show the whole picture of who you are. Your thoughts aren't even necessarily a reflection of yourself, but rather of your subconscious mind. So what you're taking in every single day around you, your environment, the cars, the restaurants, the signs, the people, the news, that's all going into your subconscious mind. And so you have a choice about what you want to take in, and you have a choice about what you want to throw out. Just like the garbage where, you know, you take in the item that you buy, let's say like a bag of lettuce. You don't want the plastic bag anymore, so you throw that out, but you take in the lettuce. Just like the thoughts, where you have thoughts that you want to cultivate to put that towards your ultimate goal of what you want to achieve in your life. Whereas there are thoughts that are garbage, complete garbage that you can just throw away, and you don't need them anymore. And so that's just like, yeah, like with your thoughts, where you throw away the garbage and you keep what you want. You don't need to cultivate the things that you don't need anymore. You don't need to spend time worrying about things that are completely irrelevant, because that isn't that isn't your goal. That isn't what you want to achieve. It's kind of like me focusing on, you know, a goal that I want in mind, but then focusing on something completely irrelevant. That's not going to build what I want. And so that's why you have to be very kind of discriminating against your thoughts, because you want to choose which thoughts are going to help you get to that ultimate goal in life. And so that's what I realized, is that today when I was walking, the walking has actually opened my mind up to all these possibilities and all these things. Like, I'm thinking about my goals, I'm thinking about the 30-day, challenge. I'm thinking about how can I move forward with my life. And that was one of the things that, I kind of expanded on. I've actually did that start of this year. I would say I've been more like thinking about, that's kind of what I came up with, is where your perception creates reality, and every single day you make the choice about what you want to do and how you want to get to that ultimate goal. So you make a choice about what you want to think, how you want to react to things, and that creates your own reality. So every single day you're moving towards that goal in mind. And so I was working towards that, especially during meditation, where, meditation is a great practice to take in a thought and then focus on your breath, focus on, you know, the meditation itself. So you could be in a meditation and, they're guiding you towards your breath. And every time a thought comes in, you see the thought, but then you focus on your breath. And the idea is to build this ability to, notice your thought and then just focus. It's building that focus muscle and that discipline, so that way when you're out in the real world, you can take something in but not necessarily react to it, and just rather put it aside. Something happens to you, how are you going to react to it? Why not do nothing and just move on with your life? Like, let's say somebody almost hits you with their car. You're crossing the street, they almost hit you. What are you going to do? Are you going to get angry? Are you going to get upset at them? Or are you just going to be like, they didn't kill me, so move on? Or, for example, somebody, let's say you run into a homeless guy and he starts swearing at you and doing all these things. Are you going to react to it, or are you just going to move on? Just move on. So all these situations happen to you on a daily basis. and they try to test you. The universe is testing you. So it's like, how are you going to react to those situations? Are you going to get upset at every little thing? Which I did. I did that before. I got kind of upset because people were making mistakes, and they were behaving in certain ways that I thought was wrong. I'd go out to the transit station, and people were doing drugs. People were misbehaving, and I would get upset because, like, why are you doing that? But then I realized that all of that is affecting me and making me feel more negative. So it's like, what do I want to spend my time and focus on, and how do I want to move forward towards those goals that I want to achieve? And so all these things happening in my reality, it's like, why waste my time? Why waste my time reacting and then getting upset and then cultivating that in my subconscious mind? And then at the end of the day, I have those thoughts like, oh, I remember that guy that was, doing all that stuff, bad things, and remember all the stressful events of the day. If you don't react to it, then you're not going to remember it, because you're not it's like your subconscious mind is always watching your environment. So if you keep reacting to the things in that environment, then you're going to remember it, because your brain is programmed to keep be aware of threats, be aware of negativity, so that way it can address it if that situation happens again. So, for example, if the same situation happens to you and you just keep reacting the same way, you're building a pattern in your brain that whenever this happens, then you're going to react in that way. So if a thought comes into your brain, then you're going to react in that way. And the same thing's going to happen unless you take the initiative consciously to stop that from happening. So it's like, if I have a thought in my brain, for example, let's say what happened last semester, and that same thought keeps occurring to me, and I keep reacting in the same way, in a lustful, in a sad, in a regretful manner. And every time that thought comes up, I'm going to react in the same way. But if you train your brain enough, you can switch it off. Literally, that thought comes into your brain, you can be like, I don't care, and the thought goes away. And you just keep doing that. Just keep doing that, man. Do the meditation. You're going to have those emotions come up. But if you keep improving yourself every single day, your health, what something it's the stuff you eat, the exercise, go out there, you keep doing that every single day. You strengthen your brain, so that way each time that situation happens, boom, you can just flip that switch. Literally, that thought comes into your brain, and all you have to do is you just switch it off. You're like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's a waste of time. It's not going to help me towards the ultimate goal that I have. So you just keep switching that switch off. Eventually your subconscious mind is going to be like, oh, this is a waste of time. Why am I focusing on it? And eventually, after you do that so many times, your conscious mind is going to be aware of that, and you're going to be like, why did I even worry about that? And that's the same thing that happened with NoFap. Literally, like, I first started NoFap, and all I could think about was that cycle, was the PMO cycle. And I get home after school and I had anxiety, and what did I do? I just went to the cycle, the PMO cycle. And each time I did that, and that's all I could think about, and it really took up so much of my day and what I wanted to do, and that's all I could think about. At school, actually, I don't know about school, but at home, that's what I could think about. At nighttime, the triggers, and that was always on my mind. And here I am 4 years later. I kid you not, 2016. That's when I started my NoFap journey. It was July. It was like 14th through 19th, somewhere during that time, July 2016. That's when I started. We're almost toward July 2020. Literally, I kid you not. And since that time, since building that, streak, and, watching the videos, doing, getting rid of junk food, going on the no junk food challenge, literally. You can see old videos that I did, and focusing not on the women, or the girls, from high school and college, not focusing on that. I haven't really thought about going back to that cycle. There hasn't been a thought that says you should go back you should go back to that cycle. That would be a good idea. The temptation, the urges, the thoughts, there has been images. I won't deny that there's been images, the visualization, but the reality is, I'd say 90% or more of my time, I haven't been thinking about it. There have been sometimes, I won't deny, sometimes the thought comes into my brain, but it doesn't stick there for long. You know, um, and these images, the intimate images, I would say, aren't necessarily, not necessarily, I would say, related to the what I was watching before. Sometimes I like to think about, how far I've gone, so I bring up the idea that, like, wow, this is where I was at, kind of as motivation. But overall, I feel that I haven't necessarily been thinking about that the temptation and the urge to go back. And it's great. It makes me think of just the kind of the thoughts I've been battling since I was a kid, and I I realize that it's possible to move beyond that, no matter how strong it seems. Because the PMO cycle, I kid you not, was strong. I It was very strong. I never thought I could get to this point. I kid you not. There was a time where I felt trapped, that I could never get beyond this addiction. And I felt lost. The same type of stuff you hear on other videos. I felt ashamed of myself. I didn't know I could move on. And so eventually, once I got over that, I saw the 30 days, 60 days, boom, boom, boom. I saw the benefits coming in. It was like I wasn't living, this wasn't the life I just couldn't believe literally the stuff that was happening, because the radical change that happened from the beginning of that semester. So I'm talking about NoFap 2016, the before that summer to after that summer and beyond. Insane. I kid you not. It was like I was living in a parallel universe. The stuff that happened to me, you can go back to those videos early on in the challenge from like almost 4 years ago now. The stuff that was happening was beyond comprehension. It wasn't real, but it was real, because that NoFap is real. I kid you not. And so I don't believe anybody that says it doesn't work, because I lived it. I kid you not. And it's I it's been the most amazing thing. The guys in this channel, the guys in this community, the NoFap community, are amazing. Hands down. They are the best, and they saved my life. They saved it. And so that's what I was realizing today. I was like, wow, if I keep improving every single day, I take the vitamins, I take the supplements, I add more of the supplements to my routine, I exercise every single day. I shoot hoops. I'm trying to find a gym. That's what I was doing today. I called a local gym, and I'm really interested in a gym, rock climbing gym. I actually found one in Vista. Um, the monthly payment might be a little steep, but I do want to try it out. Go rock climbing. To be honest, I'm still a little bit scared of heights. Even when I go to the mall, they have the second floor and they have the glass railing. I'm a little bit afraid to look down. But it might be a good way to conquer a fear that really isn't that big of. I mean, if you think about it, going to the rock climbing gym, I mean, they have a harness, I bet, and it's really not that high. So it shouldn't be something that I'm super scared of. It doesn't really make any sense, because you can't really get hurt. So I might try it out. I'll try it out. I might try it out once to see how it is, and then maybe I'll commit to a monthly um, at the gym. I mean, that sounds like fun, to be honest. Rock climbing, good for my health. Get the exercise in there. Might try it out. Um, Overall, though, so I decided to play basketball today. I had the smoothie, and I went out to this place in Shadow Ridge, the nicer part of Vista, um, in terms of, I'd say, the houses, and it's basically a wealthier area of Vista. And I went to this place called I think it was Thibodeau Park. A nice, quaint little park. They have a tennis court, a playground area, an unofficial trail. I don't know if that was a legit trail, but I walked along, making sure I didn't see those rattlesnakes because we're getting to summer. But I was shooting hoops, and the court was pretty nice, two basketball hoops, and I don't know. I was making stuff. You know, I played a little bit, and I played mostly handball back in elementary school, and then middle school was when I was playing. I wouldn't say that I had the skill set yet, and the guys were usually pretty. They joked around. They were messing around with me, about my basketball skill set. But it's like, man, now it's like, I'm starting off small. Starting off, I think it's the 2 point, around the world, and then the 3 point. But what I'm doing is I'm applying the philosophy of consistency, and just beating it, or not beating it. I don't want to use that, persistence. This I'm shooting at that same spot, same two spots basically, and I'm just gonna keep doing it until I get it. And what I noticed was, I was making the baskets. I was like, dang, man, I'm making the baskets. Just keep at the same spot, shooting the hoops, shooting it. And I was making the baskets, and I just applied that philosophy of just, you keep going at it. And I noticed, yeah, I was making the baskets, and it was great. Um, and then I walked over to this other place in Shadow Ridge, Buena Vista Park. Um, but I actually had to go to the South Buena Vista Park. The first park I went to, there was geese there. It was nice. It was a nice nature setting, quiet. There was, parents and their kids, but it was great to watch the geese. It was great to meditate there. Um, and I went over to South Buena Vista, and that's where the basketball courts were. And I ended up, I shot some. That was a dog park. So I realized, like, I've always been kind of hesitant of dogs since I got bit by my own dog, basically. And I've been building up. I had a job where I was working with this very energetic dog. She was nice, but kind of intimidating because she was a pit bull mix. And so every 2 days a week I would go, and she would run up, and I was like, I got to prepare for it. But I'm thinking maybe I'll work on that, because the reality is most of the dogs won't hurt you, especially with the owners. So I just gotta get ready for it. Maybe break that fear, and go to the dog beach in Del Mar, which is, like I said, another nice area. But I was shooting hoops, and I was on fire, dude. I was like making at least 70-80% of my shots. And I was like, dang, it was building confidence, because it was like I was making the shots, and I just like, dang, man, that was great. And I went back, and I decided to do a bit of walking. Um, in Vista, I walked downtown, checked out the library, which still hasn't opened back up again. And then I don't know, I had a revelation. I kid you not. I was like meditating. My mind was clear, and I just realized, like, wow, I can flip the thoughts off like a switch. The more I practice, the more I go forward. The thoughts, especially the ones that are complete garbage and BS that I've been hanging on like a freaking like backpack, like the baggage basically. I can just toss that garbage out just by flipping the switch. The reality is, like, the stuff that happens to us, we don't necessarily have to let it get the best of us. We can just flip the switch and let it go off. But the thing is, I can't let that be a false hope. Just like, oh, I discovered this new thing that's gonna cure everything. I don't have to. I can go back to my unhealthy lifestyle. But that's not how it works. If you wanna see consistent improvement, you have to stay focused. And that's one of the tricks that I got tricked. One of the holes that I fell into, where, I was developing a great meditation practice, and I was strengthening my focus, and then I let the external environment affect me, with the 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 pandemic. Basically, I let that affect me, and I let the external drive for money, the fact that I was trying to search for a job, um, and once I got a job, I put that above my meditation practice. So I'd go on the bus, and where I was meditating each time I go on the bus, I was meditating, because sometimes the bus takes a couple hours to get where you want to go, especially if you want to go to San Diego, and I was meditating like at least an hour or more, and I was like, dang, I'm getting stronger. I'm actually controlling my thoughts. But then when I got the job, when I got a contract position, I decided to work on the social media, and I did that for a month, and I wasn't necessarily meditating as much, and I wasn't focusing on my mind. And so what ended up happening was my meditation practice got weaker and weaker because I wasn't strengthening that muscle. And I still have this kind of perception that mental health isn't as important as physical health. And so, this idea is like, oh, I'll eat healthy, but I can give up meditation, but meditation is literally the key to a healthy mind. And so you can't give that up. That would be like me going back to junk food, like eating chips, eating, cake and added sugars, because I'm like, oh, I started eating healthy. Now I can go back to eating unhealthy. But the reality is, once you get to that point where it's like you find the pathway, you have to keep going on that pathway. You can't go back. You can't go back to that old lifestyle. It's like if I decided, like, oh, I reached this point with NoFap where my head's clear. I'm gonna go back to the old way. I'm gonna go back to watching the videos. I'm gonna go back to simping, and chasing after these chicks. And the reality is, you can't go back. Once you know the enlightened path, once you know the best possible path, you can't go back. And it's tempting to go back because you kind of rationalize and you're like, well, the social media job is very important. And it is, but the reality is meditation is much more important. That is what's going to solve it. And that's what I have to realize when I find another position and I go back to social media marketing, is that meditation is crucial to developing a solid mind. So basically what happened was, I took the bus back, I took another cold shower, felt great, and I got to remember to bring those essential oils, which I got next to me. Like I said, I got to do consistency because I might forget and be like, oh, I don't have to do it anymore. But it's like every single day. I did the chamomile tea. I prepared for another smoothie tomorrow. It's going to be, I'm going to put I'm making these cornbread cakes basically in the microwave. And I'm going to put that in my smoothie, mix it up. It's going to be heavy as heck. And I also decided to record another video. I got to be consistent. Consistency is key. In order to create your own reality, to create the life of your dreams, you got to do it every single day. Not just with a house, not just with trying to make money, not just with a job. You got to do it with your mental health. Take care of yourself, because I'm seeing gains with social media marketing. I kid you not, like I was working on social media and with Instagram, and after I finished that contract position, I was working on my social media, and like I said, the follower count was going up, the engagement was going up, the views were going up, the content, like this content was fire, dude. It was going up, and I was seeing progress, but my mental health was just the stress, because it's like, you go out and you're thinking about getting content, and it's like that's on top of your mind, and just like you just lose focus on just trying to improve your mental health. So, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm thinking about at least going to that rock climbing gym, because this week the plan was to find a gym, and I think I might go to that rock climbing gym tomorrow. I'm excited, but of course, I'm gonna go get some basketball, uh, get that in, shoot some hoops, get that smoothie in. I'm excited to try out this smoothie or shake, and then next thing, of course, I'm gonna listen to my No Fat Bros. I've been listening to some videos today about fitness. I've been listening to some videos about not just fitness, but social media, um, doing research on travel. Get out there, get out of the house. Of course, I think maybe supplements too. Doing a little bit of research, but I'm excited for that. Also, let's see, tomorrow, maybe get a plan. Oh yeah, go to maybe check out a dog beach, get that fear out of the way, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow on day 5 of the self improvement journey. So have a great day, guys, and keep your head up.